Right now, as you reach for that snack, something subtle but real is happening inside your brain. Not instantly, not dramatically, but over time, your brain begins to adapt. Its reward system shifts, its signals change, and patterns begin forming that can influence how you think, feel, and crave. This isn't fear-mongering. This is modern neuroscience. And once you understand it, you won't see food the same way again. Before we get into the brain science, we need to talk about what we actually mean by ultra-processed food, because most people get this wrong. It's not just junk food. It's not just fast food. It's a scientific category. In 2009, Brazilian epidemiologist Carlos Monteiro created the NOVA classification system, which categorizes food not by nutrients, but by the degree of industrial processing. NOVA Category 4, ultra-processed foods, includes packaged snacks, even breads and buns, instant food like noodles and soups, flavored yogurts and dairy drinks, breakfast sugary cereals, energy drinks, mass-produced pastries, chicken nuggets, hot dogs, and processed meats and meals, and of course, soft drinks. These aren't just modified foods, they're engineered products. Here's the number that should disturb you. In the United States, ultra-processed food now makes up 58% of daily caloric intake in adults. In children, it's 67%. That means the majority of what most people eat every single day falls into this category. But why does that matter for your brain? That's where the neuroscience starts getting terrifying. The dopamine hijack. Your brain runs on a reward system, and at the center of that system is a molecule called dopamine. Dopamine isn't pleasure, it's motivation. Dopamine is released when you do things that are good for survival: eating, socializing, achieving goals. It's your brain's way of saying, do that again. Now here's where food engineers come in. The food industry employs neuroscientists, flavor chemists, and behavioral psychologists. Their literal job title at companies is to find what researchers call the bliss point, the exact combination of sugar, salt, and fat that triggers maximum dopamine release without triggering satiation. They've essentially reverse-engineered your reward system. And the result? A 2021 study published in Cell Metabolism showed that ultra-processed food triggers dopamine responses that are comparable, not identical, but comparable, to early-stage substance dependency. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a reward and a trap. It just knows it wants more. But that's just the beginning, because over time, repeated dopamine flooding from processed food does something deeply alarming. Frequent overstimulation can lead to reduced sensitivity to rewards. It reduces the number of dopamine receptors in your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and long-term planning. Less receptors means less sensitivity, so you need more stimulation to get the same effect. Sound familiar? That's the definition of tolerance. That's addiction biology. It also leads to stronger cravings for such foods and less satisfaction from normal foods. And it's happening on your couch with a bag of crisps while you watch Netflix. Neuroinflammation, your brain on fire. Now let's talk about neuroinflammation, because this is the part that most videos miss entirely. Inflammation is your immune system's response to threats. It is your body's defense system that sends white blood cells to protect and heal. In the short term, it's essential. But what happens when inflammation becomes chronic? When your immune system is constantly activated by what you're putting in your body? It can affect the brain. Here's the mechanism. Ultra-processed foods are typically high in refined sugars, trans fats, and artificial additives. When these compounds enter your bloodstream regularly, they trigger a chronic, low-grade inflammatory response throughout your body, including crossing the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, this inflammation activates cells called microglia. Microglia are your brain's immune cells. Under normal conditions, they protect and repair. But chronic activation from processed food is associated with cognitive decline and mood disorders. A landmark study from the Nutrinet Santé cohort in France found a link between higher ultra-processed food intake and increased risk of depressive symptoms. They confirmed the link, suggesting that higher UPF consumption is associated with a 20 to 50% increased risk of developing depression. Some studies have consistently linked UPF consumption to high blood pressure, cancer, and mortality, not just mental health, suggesting they are a significant factor in Western disease trends. More alarming finding came from brain imaging studies. Researchers at University College London used MRI to compare the brains of high versus low UPF consumers. The result? People with the highest ultra-processed food intake showed measurably reduced gray matter volume, particularly in the hippocampus. The hippocampus, the seat of memory, the region responsible for learning, spatial navigation, and emotional regulation. It was shrinking from food. Important. This is correlation, not direct causation. But the pattern is strong enough that scientists are paying close attention. So the question isn't just, is this snack unhealthy? It's, what is it doing to your brain over time? The gut-brain axis. But there's a third pathway we haven't talked about yet. This one will change how you think about your gut forever. Your gut has its own nervous system. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it contains 200 to 600 million neurons, more than your spinal cord. Scientists now call it the second brain, and it communicates directly with your actual brain via a superhighway called the vagus nerve. 90% of the signals on that vagus nerve go from gut to brain, not the other way around. Your gut is talking to your brain constantly. Now here's where ultra-processed food causes catastrophic damage. A healthy gut microbiome contains trillions of bacteria, and many of them produce neurotransmitters, including serotonin. In fact, 90% of your body's serotonin is made in your gut. Serotonin regulates mood, sleep, appetite, and social behavior. Ultra-processed food, high in emulsifiers, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives, is brutally hostile to beneficial gut bacteria. Studies have shown that common food additives like polysorbate 80 and carboxymethylcellulose disrupt the gut microbiome within days. Destroy the gut, destroy the serotonin supply, destroy the mood. And now you have the full picture. 3 separate pathways: dopamine hijacking, neuroinflammation, and gut-brain axis disruption, all simultaneously attacking the same brain. Your brain, every time you eat ultra-processed food. What you can actually do now. I'm not here to make you feel guilty. Guilt doesn't rewire brains. Knowledge does. And the most important thing neuroscience has taught us in the last decade is this good news. Neuroplasticity is real. Your brain is adaptable and can change in both directions. Studies show that switching to a whole food diet, like Mediterranean-style diet, rich in omega-3s, polyphenols, and fermented foods, can show measurable reductions in inflammatory markers within 12 weeks. That's 3 months to begin reversing damage that took years to build. The hippocampus can regrow. Gray matter density can increase. Dopamine receptor sensitivity can recover. So a good, whole food, nutritious dietary changes are linked to lower inflammation, improved mood, better cognitive performance. But here's the final shocking fact I want to leave you with. The system can move in both directions. In 2023, a study from Imperial College London asked participants to eat a diet of 80% ultra-processed food for just 2 weeks. Within 14 days, not months, not years, 14 days, participants showed increased markers of neuroinflammation, reduced performance on memory tasks, and measurably lower scores on emotional regulation tests. 2 weeks for changes you could measure on a brain scan. The food industry has known this for decades. The question is, do you? This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Food isn't just fuel, it's information for your brain. And every choice you make is shaping patterns you don't immediately see. If this changed how you think about food, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because this isn't just about weight, it's about your mind that's on the line. Subscribe factlabpro for more amazing facts. I'll see you in the next one.